All right. Hello and welcome to Coding with Jess, where you code along with me while I work on a thing. Give me just a second. I'm going to drop the link into the old Twitters, and then we will get started here in just a minute. I'm excited to work on this today and have you hanging out, following along. All right, let's see. Tweeters. It's been about 4 months since I have live streamed, so feeling a little rusty today. And yeah, it's been interesting. We'll see how today goes. Feeling a little rusty on the whole live stream. Let's quote tweet this. Record. Okay, so welcome to Coding with Jess. Like I mentioned, it's been about 4 months since I've done a live stream, which is a very long time. But I have been doing a few recordings here and there. In the meantime, it looks like I was just looking at my channel today, and I had done one in August and one at the end of July. But it's been a little bit of a hiatus. So I'm excited to be back in the saddle. I've been working on a lot of things over the last several months around kind of future of computing, new tools for thought. I've built some like workflow things that I've been using in my personal life. And so a lot has changed, even though there's not a whole lot on the YouTubes to reflect it. So today, what we're going to be working on is I'm going to be working on my personal website. So let me go ahead and show you kind of where we're at with that. So current personal website looks like this. You can see it's very focused on the way that I've been thinking about my career for the last like 10 to 15 years, which is largely bringing products to market. I work on sort of the go-to-market side of software development. And what I'd like to do in the future, in the next 10 years, is transition to more of like a research and development type thing. And so if you notice, the site right now is very focused on, I bring web products to market. I work with businesses, design, develop, and deploy web and mobile products. All those things have been true of me. But are no longer kind of like where my main focus is. So I'm working on today kind of getting that main focus represented on this homepage. So I actually have let me bring my bear over here to the screen. I have like a little bit of a narrative that I want to like weave into this site and get up and running there. And so that's what we're going to kind of work on today. So, all right. So as we always do on Coding with Jess, we're going to work in Pomodoros. So let me go ahead and get Voito's excellent tomato timer up and running. We will do 4 Pomodoros today, working on the personal site. And I have a lot of ambitions about what to work on. And so we're going to try and use aggressive time boxing to get down to basically focus in on getting a couple of things shipped during the live stream today. So we'll see how things go. Let me go ahead and hit Start Tomato, and we'll start our first 25-minute timer. That always feels good to hit that first start and get started. Okay, so very first thing I need to change on the site is currently the greeting. The greeting right now is accurate, but is probably the most inaccurate thing in terms of like how I want to represent myself or show up in the world. And so what I've started writing something over here about this idea of like, welcome Pioneer, we're only the device you're reading this on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm Jess Martin, this is where I write, that kind of stuff. And so I want to get that kind of in here. And so what we're going to do is do some sort of like live design in the browser. I've got my Visual Studio Code up and running over here. I've got my personal website here in the Upgrade Gatsby. You guys should be able to see all that. Let me close that. And great, I think it's called Gatsby Dev to get the website running. Yeah, Gatsby Develop. That should start the site. We've got the site up over here. think I need to bump up the size on that one time. And we have an index site. All right, great. There's been so many men. Trying to remember how to hide the sidebar. Oh, Command B. Very simple. Okay, there we go. Cool. So we've got the site up and running. Let's go over to that. Localhost 3000. Except it's not 3000. It is what? It is 8000 maybe. There we go. Cool. All right, so here's the website that we've got going on, and it's the same as the big one, and we want to update this greeting. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm designing the site in sections. So let me switch over to my whiteboard real quick and kind of show you what I'm thinking here. So I really want the top section to be this header, which we kind of already have with like the Jess Martin strip across the top, right? This already says Jess Martin, and then we've got, I want to basically have these sections so that I can swap things out. And what we're going to go for today, right now we're working on this thing first, the welcome section, which as you remember is like, hi, building a product, that kind of stuff. And then here's some stuff I've done in the past, basically like a little bit of like resume type thing. So what I'd love to do is switch this to more of like a dedicated welcome section that would only be present on the home page. So only on home page. Here's a little to-do item that I can wipe off of here because I've got it written down. And then the next thing I'd like to put up here is a sort of recents section where I can show the most recent things that I've been working on, specifically like articles, research notes, live streams, anything that I'm doing that is being updated recently. That way this kind of, when people drop on the website, the idea is if it's their first time here ever, they'll read this and that'll give them a clue who I am and like why you're here, why you should care. If you've been here before, you'll probably glance right past that, and then this will be the most interesting thing to you of, hey, here's the stuff that is new, right? The stuff that I should go check out. This note has been updated, this live stream's been dropped. And then the sections after that, I'm thinking I might insert like a now section, which I have a little bit of written here of what I'm working on now. I think I might drop that next after the most recent section. And then the last thing would be this, like the current sections that are on there of like, here's speeches, talks I've given, here's work I've done in the past, here's writings that I've written, that kind of stuff. So let's work on getting this up and running in this Pomodoro, see if we can get that shipped and merged in before the Pomodoro ends, and we'll see how that goes. All right, let's see. All right, let me switch back to my desktop and get cranking on this. Okay, so again, I have this language. I'm not like over the moon thrilled with it, so I'm just gonna kind of, we'll just throw it up for now as better to ship something than nothing, and we'll move kind of from there. So let's just see what happens if we change this to Welcome Pioneer. And yeah, interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue going with this like pioneering metaphor on the website of like, I think you'll get it as I like drop the next block of text in. So let's see what that looks like. Drop that in. Looks like, oh, do I have a, I'm curious how I'm styling. You'll notice that this I'm Jess paragraph is, this is text is larger than this. I bet I have a style that says the paragraph after this following this block should be bigger. Yep, there it is. Left title plus P bumps the size on that one thing. So we'll need to fix that in a minute here in terms of styling. All right, let's turn on wrap because that's going off the screen. Let me take out these wiki blocks. And then this will be, needs to be wrapped in a P tag. Goodness. All right, and then here, this needs to be italic. I think I can just do that. wonder if I can surround. Yeah. All right, now let's see how that looks. We've got, yeah, again, this one is too big. Italic worked just fine. That's great. I'm gonna move this down to the bottom. That's not how you do that. Let me see. Move the drawer down to the bottom. Bring that up. That way we get like kind of an accurate, this would be browser sized, and we'll play around and make sure that we get a nice look on a mobile device as well. But we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so the device you're reading this on represents one of the, see, I want this paragraph to be smaller. Again, I don't love this whole Pioneer theme, especially if you haven't read my essay that I've written on this. So like future, no, this isn't even the right one. I'll have to like pull up that essay here in a minute. But I wrote an essay on like, hey, we're at the foundation, or at the beginning of this like long revolution, and in terms of the way that computing works with people. So I don't know. I think I might cut this back and just go with I'm Jess Martin. This is where I white tweet. Yeah, when in doubt, leave it out. If you're not feeling like it's representative, let's cut the other things. All right, convincing myself here. All right, let's just cut the building a product, and we will instead Samar says, I have no clue what Pioneer is. Yeah, it's probably not the best language. Let me see if I can get this working here. Got it. All right, so instead, let's cut that paragraph back over here. We'll just say welcome. Jess Martin, and then I'll cut these, and we'll cut it back to what I had in Bear, which is this is where I write, speak, and create the future of computing. Kind of a little bit ambitious, right? Writing, speaking, and creating the future of computing. Just that. That's all we do here. All right, so these will be jump links. The write, speak, and create. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze here. Whew, try not to do that right into the microphone. So write, speak, and create the future of computing. These will be jump links down to other sections. Let's see which are already here. Yes, writings. So I think I need to give these IDs. I think that's the way this works. Writings, and then ID equals talks. If I give all those IDs, then I should be able to get a link to those. So if I hit /# writings, yep, and then /# talks, boom. If you've never seen jump links work that way, that is built into HTML. It's a pretty handy way to create those really quickly. So let's say we'll go and add those to write. href equals, and I want to link from here to writings, and same thing for talk. I think I have talks is the name there, #talks. There might be a faster way to do that, but that works pretty well. I don't have anything for create the future of computing yet, so I need to kind of have, probably that would be my research notes. So let's see, refresh this. But you can jump down right now, you can jump down to speak now, and given that I think this is going to end up as a fairly long page, right now I'm planning this as a sort of like long scroller that will that has all of the content on it that you need to kind of get to know me. So welcome. You know what? I kind of like the way I had it before, where I'm Jess Martin was in a paragraph tag after. Yeah, that'll work. I've got some overall visual stuff I need to do to this site, but I think that gets closer to where I want to be. The other thing, let me see if I have anything on future of computing here. I have this older article or note. One of the things that I also would like to work on today, if I get time, and which is one of the reasons I'm cutting this welcome part short, is differentiating between articles that I've written and sort of notes in my research notebook. I'm learning that notes in my research notebook are something that I'm kind of like working over, almost like writing encyclopedia entries. Like I'm working over them over time, like thinking about how Alan Kay interpreted, the edges of computing and that kind of stuff, and then creating this interlinked encyclopedia that represents my own sort of personal knowledge base. That is different than an article. An article is more written to a specific audience with a specific purpose. And so I've got these articles like how to Trello your project, or why you should use Trello for damn near everything. Like that's probably my most popular article that I've written. But this has a narrative to it. It has a specific purpose of like, let me convince you of something within the context of this article. It was published at one point in time, and I've never really updated it, I've hardly updated it in 5 years. And so that's an article, very different than sort of the research notes that I'm working on. And I don't really have a place to save to present those on my site right now. And I've got a couple of articles that I have stored up that, as I wrote the research note, I wrote them sort of in my Bear app as a research note. And as I was writing it, I realized that what was coming out was not a research note. What was coming out was an article with a specific person in mind, a point that I wanted to make, and something that I kind of want to publish as a standalone thing. And so that's another thing we're going to hopefully work on today, is get a place to actually have my articles, the articles that I'm writing, distinct from research notes. All right, so comparing, contrasting what we had here, we had I'm building a product section, and now we have this little section. This is where I write, speak, and create future computing. So at least we've removed the thing that is inaccurate, which is I don't want to actually work on bringing products to market. I'm more interested in creating future computing stuff, and I can work in the future to make this section more representative of what I'm kind of going towards. All right, so let's go over, and that was a super duper small change, which is good. Let's get that change out and published, and then move on to the next thing on the list. All right, so get checkout branch, greeting, and add that change. Sparkles. And yes, emojis do work in commit messages. And get push origin -u, greeting. You know what? I think I'm going to do all of these as a single branch instead of having them all, instead of creating multiple PRs. I'll just create one PR for these overall changes. Okay, great. So we've got through that one. Let me look at my list here to see what I want to do next. Okay, so yeah. The very next thing, we've got a welcome section. It's not awesome, but it's good enough. What I'd like to work on next is sort of a block around latest. Here's the most recent things that I'm working on. The reason that I really need this is when you come to my website, you get this very static, almost like a resume, or almost like a CV, actually, of here's stuff that I've done in the past, but it doesn't really change much. And the reality is the things that change are two things. One is I post live streams for things like this, or well, three things actually. I have this research notebook, which you can see has been updated much more recently than my front page of my site, but this is buried one page in this tiny little link here of research notebook, boom, in order to know, in order to see kind of what's changing. This I'm going to continue to update, even though haven't updated anything since September. I just haven't really published it. Most of it's backed up in my Bear, and then I need to get out into this, into the research notebook area. So the next section that I need is some sort of recents section. The third thing that changes besides live streams and research notebook is GitHub, in the sense that I am actively building software that's building out my workflows. So I've got a couple of Bear SQLite to MD, and that I'm actively working on, and then I have two other workflow tools that aren't yet in GitHub. One of them is a workflow that prints a PDF to my printer. Yes, that printer right there. Whenever I, let me switch back to my desktop here. So yeah, the other things that change, yeah. So prints a PDF whenever I save it so that I can read it on physical paper, because yes, I actually read on physical paper. And then I have another one that like takes a clip of my whiteboard, and so that whiteboard clipper is just a series of bash scripts that I have stitched together that I need to publish to GitHub as well. So I want a landing page that kind of can point you to the most recent stuff that I'm working on or have been doing, and that's what I need to get there. The spacing is going to drive me crazy, by the way. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like a tiny bit more space here than there is between these two paragraphs. That kind of stuff I will fix later, but composition, I'm not a designer, but I am particular about stuff like this. I think I might actually go ahead and, I think that's, each paragraph tag has a margin bottom that's consistent, that's based on the EM. So I'd have to like lower that. Yeah. Let me see, is that about right? It looks like about 0.9 actually. 0.9, 0.8. Yeah, there we go, 0.8 EMs. So let me take that rule real quick and drop it over in my style sheet. Styles, layout CSS, and that would be after the left title, paragraph, and paste that in. And go back, and great. Okay, spacing fixed. All right, let's see. So now let's work on a new section. How might this work? So this guy, this big picture here is floated right, and I think we're going to end up with a new section that's going to cut into that. What I'd love to have is kind of a line from here all the way across that creates like a visual section. So a good simple example would be like Andy Works' site of yellow, white, very stark difference between the different sections, and then header or then footer. And right now I've got that difference between the header, but I think I'd like to include that difference between each one of the sections, that visual difference, whether it's like a simple line or something like that. So let's go and add a new one and see how that might work. Also, we want to set this up so that we can add new ones in the future. So I may want to create like an HTML tag that, so not header, but probably section, that we can then style such that we get that we can repeat our work over and over again here. We can reuse, that's what I'm trying to say, reuse our the work that we do to style this up. So let me go ahead and drop some content in, and then we can start mangling and mushing it around on the page. So the first thing, okay, this is going to be recents, so we're going to do an H3 because that seems like what I'm using. And we'll do UL, LI, and let's assume that the most recent stuff, we'll get a real list of things that are recent. That would be Research Notebook. I wrote a little note on this essay, how can we develop transformative tools for thought? So let's grab that as a href. I'll get a link to it in just a second here. And we will auto-generate this list in a second. I'm just styling it up, and it's going to be static. And then we're going to use Gatsby to auto-generate it. How? I have no idea, but we'll figure that out. It's kind of the fun of these kind of things. Okay, we don't want to use localhost, so make sure that we're just showing a relative URL there. And then let's see what that looks like so far. Nice. Extremely tiny UL, LI. I wonder what I've got going on down here that makes these not tiny. Maybe it's within the section that there's some style. That's very strange. I would have expected it to look exactly like the other UL LIs. Let's see. There is, let me go down to this one down here. Main. Oh, interesting. I basically said anytime a UL is inside of main, anytime a UL is inside of a div, then make it this size. That's the problem, is that it is not inside of main or a div, it's inside a section. I'm not sure why I scoped things this way. I literally designed this style sheet probably, oh man, 7 years ago? That sounds right to me. So I can easily fix this with like adding section, but this is starting to look pretty dang ugly. My goodness. And then you notice that, wow, is that the same style here? Oh no, not quite. Yeah, I don't know why I scoped that. That is so strange. So notice I'm having to recreate that here. And then also, oh, I missed a comma. Watch those commas. I thought that Prettier would have done that for me, but, or would have notified me that I had missed that. Okay, let's see, are there any other ULLI stuff? All right, that looks good. So now we expect that size to be right. It is right now. And you know what would be slick here? It'd be really cool to have this like be instead of a dot, have a little icon based on the kind of change it is. So if it's a research note, it has like a little like something that looks like this. So if it had like a little in next to the list item and then had the list item. Obviously this would be like icon size, so downsize it. So maybe we'll do some kind of icon there at some point. I think what I'll do for now is just put a preface that's not inside the link, that's something like that. Note. Really needs to be bold to match with the rest of that style. Whoa, not what I meant to do. Hide that. All right. Whoa. I don't love that. Oh, whoops. Forgot to switch back to my desktop. Sorry about that, y'all. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna put a little preface here instead of having a little icon. I don't love the bold there, but not bold, it looked even worse. I think the icon would look rad. I'm just gonna leave that for now, knowing that I will hate that enough that it will make me want to fix it and replace it with an icon at some point. Hopefully some point soon, maybe some point today. Maybe we'll get into like making an icon, which would be pretty fun. All right, let me add 2 more of these. Like, let me go look and see what the next most recent thing that I've done is. Probably, let me see, studio.youtube.com. If I go to my content, the next most recent thing was a video in August, maybe? Or do I have other research notes that are newer than that? Let's go see. So I did this one, and then I wrote a research note on reinventing the book, and then this writing workflow one. Okay, cool. So that's good. One of them's a video, one of them's and one of them's a note. So let me get this link here, and we'll go change this one to, oh, we've got our first Pomodoro break coming up. Okay, sweet. So I am going to take a 5-minute break, and I will be right back. We're 1 Pomodoro in to 4 Pomodoros working on my personal site. I'll hang out on the chat if you want to, during the break, if you want to chat about anything, whatever. And yeah, we'll be back to work here in just a minute. 5 minutes from now. So see you shortly. All right, so we are back. And back at it for Pomodoro number 2. Hit start tomato. Again, we got 25 minutes working on, if you're just now tuning in, working on updating my personal site to have a little bit more dynamic nature to it, where you can actually see the new stuff I'm working on. So I've got this recent block, you may remember, that is a section with the UL and some LIs in it, where I want to list the most recent stuff that I've been working on. And that is right now is 2 research notes and a YouTube video are the most recent thing. Excuse me, the most recent things that I published. So let me go ahead and start putting that together. I want goodness. I'm going to create some. I was hoping that I thought I had Prettier installed here. I guess I don't have an ESLint file that like auto does nice things to my whenever I save here. Maybe I don't have. Yeah, I don't have, something's wrong with my, please consider opening an issue with steps to reproduce. Anyway, something's going on with my ability to use Prettier here, which is unfortunate because this is increasingly embedded and hard to navigate. All right, cool. So we'll grab, actually let me delete that one and duplicate. Actually pull that up there and duplicate that one since that one's formatted correctly, and then I'll delete this last one. All right, now the next one was Reinventing the Book, I believe. Reinventing the Book. Oops. I'm editing the first one. I need to edit the second one. Oh, and I probably should put a date. That might be good for people who are wondering how recent these things are. All right, there we go. Is note on Reinventing the Book. So maybe that would be a span at the end here. Class updated. I think I have a similar span on the research notebook page. Oops. Let me close that span. And then this will load. I think I have a similar one here. Yeah, updated. Let's see if that's actually a span as well. I think I just threw it into a small, and then I didn't make it any smaller. That's pretty funny. If you look at, yeah, there's nothing about this that's small in any way. So I think that maybe I'll create a span here and then reuse it on the research notebook just so there's a similar visual style. How can we develop transformative tools for thought? Okay, great. There's that. We're going to want to do a non-breaking space here. I don't know if you guys noticed there's not a space after that return because it gets compacted down automatically, I think, by Gatsby on delivery. And so we'll want to put a non-breaking space there and there. And again, we're going to replace this, hopefully, with a cool icon video. All right, and then change to there. All right, let's see what my most recent video was that I'm going to link to as the third thing. It was my writing workflow video. Oh yeah, this was a fun one. If you haven't watched this one, it's pretty cool. One thing I say it is, it was really fun to work on because I was actually kind of brainstorming about how my note-taking process works and what different systems I use when I'm taking notes. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. But now it will be linked from the top of my homepage, which will make it much easier for you to check it out. Okay, grab that. Boom, coding with Jess. Part 4. All right, so now we should have 3 different things on my homepage. Note, how can we develop this? Blah, 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 blah. Great, now we just need dates here. I really like the way these, yeah, the fonts and colors feel pretty good. I really love Andy's website of where he went with a much bolder color scheme and like this little gradient here. Need to add a little bit more life, spice to the website, but right now making it more dynamic is I'm gonna go with utility first over making it pretty. Okay, back to here. Coding with Jess. All right, I was working on an updated span here. This is gonna say updated. What language do I use on the research notebook page itself? All right, updated September 25th. Both of those are the same time. Okay. September 25th, 2020. Yank that, paste it there, and then this one was posted. I guess that's this was a live stream, right? Or was it a recording? I don't remember. Oh shoot, and I closed it, so I don't know the date. History. Good old history. Saves you sometimes. Video details. Boom. Can grab that. Posted on... Huh, that's funny. Doesn't have the posted date anywhere on this little site. I guess we can go to the actual video. August 26th, 2020. Man, it'd be cool to have a little, not plugin, a little clip, what am I trying to say? Thumbnail. It'd be cool to have a thumbnail of the video on the site itself, but we're going to work on embedding the videos in there in a better way. August 20th, I believe was the date. Okay, sweet. Let's see how that looks. And note, video. We still need that non-breaking space. You know what? Let's make our style now. So layout.css. Alrighty. Do I have a... Kind of looking at the structure of this file. Tight header for subpages, content, subtitle, articles, general styles. It's funny, I have a small class. What happens if I do that? I bet I use it elsewhere in the site though. So let's go to the research notebook now. They got bigger. Oh, because you make it... Yeah, see, that's ridiculous. That should go away. I don't think I have that anywhere else. Nope. I do use it on the... Okay, so let's go back over here and put it back. I use it on the paragraph tags. All right, not exactly sure where I'm going to put this, so let me just... I'll add it underneath that small. What did we call it? Updated. All right, it's a class, updated, and we'll do the font size. The main thing I want to do is make it gray. 0.8 EM, so that should bump it down in size. You know what? It might not need a size change at all. Let's start with the color change, and we'll go with like a 666 or so. All right, that's not bad. And then I'm going to go with probably a little bit lighter, and then we'll need to do a padding on the left to bump it out a little bit from the... Ooh, 15 is too far. Interesting. Maybe like 8. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. think it can be a little lighter. I wonder if I have any other examples of light text. Let's see. How do we develop? Oh, last updated up here has this small and italicized section. Interesting. So I may want to match. I may want to change this string up here to match this style, and then also change the research notebook in front page itself to where it matches that style. We could do that. All right. I do think it needs to be. Let's work in the browser a little bit and tweak it until we get it just like we want it, and then we'll go over to the style sheet. So let's do like a 999, would be even lighter. Too light, maybe. I wonder what the font weight is here. Wow. I love super light fonts. Yeah, it looks like it's right at 400 now. It's just a little bit too light for my tastes. 777 seems good. I'm going to hit this to standard size. Some dates down here. Ooh, what if I just went with date instead of updated? Yes, yes. Always kill extra words. Oops. See how that looks. Nice. Not in love yet, but I think having this switch to an icon from the dot could be pretty cool. That could be a nice little addition. Okay, so that is a good start. We also wanted to make this section stand out visually from the rest of the site. So let's see about doing that. But for right now, we can kind of check in this first attempt here. Add dynamic, well, static. Add static recent section. Most recent 3 published things. Okay, push that up, and now we want to switch to, okay, we're going to try and make this section stand out visually. Let's see. This is something we can play around with in the browser. One of the things I'm wondering is what happens if the whole section has a border top of 1 pixel solid. Okay, so we're not, because of the way I've got this wrap set up, looks like I've got main, yeah. So I have main set up to have width, or no, I have a div that I'm wrapping main in. That is horrendously ugly. Why is that? Oof. Where is this div coming from? Let's go look at the way I've got my layout done. Div class equals portrait. Okay, I've got a layout file in here. The layout file has, wow! I'm shocked. Wow, okay. Like I mentioned, I built this style sheet probably 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, and for some reason I like hard-coded. Let's go look and see where those came from. Little walk down memory lane. So Jess Martin was originally or jessmart.in was originally running a not a Rails app, a Sinatra app built on Ruby, and this was the old site. So let's just do Here's index.html. Div ID content wrap. Wow, okay. So maybe this ugliness didn't exist in the past and I introduced it recently. Let's see, Gatsby, T layout, JS. Nobody knows what I'm doing here. Oh, interesting. So this was an initial commit from Gatsby. And then I tweaked a few things. Okay, yeah. So this is part of the Gatsby starter that gave me this margin 0 auto, and then I tweaked the max width to make it lower. Oif. Okay, I guess I just accepted what I got from Gatsby at the time and moved quickly and got it shipped. I am going to leave that ugliness for later, and we'll deal with it later. So one of the things I was hoping to do was make a line all the way across, but right now I've got this div that wraps my my whole thing to shrink down the center column, and so the sections can't have a can't break out of the main width. So that's going to be problematic if I want to make them styled the way I'm thinking. You know, I might leave sort of some of the cool styling stuff for a redesign over like a re-architecture of this page entirely, where I can kind of take care of each thing piece by piece. And for right now, let's just see if we can add a section top and bottom border that gives it a little bit of difference. So let's go back over here and play with that a little bit more. So again, recent is a section, so I can grab that, change the element style manually, border, top. This is probably a decent border right there. 2-pix solid D7 is that one? So let's do that. Border, top, 2-pix solid D7. Yeah, it's all right. Border, bottom, 2-pix solid D7. So I can create a little visual separation here. It's actually kind of cool the way it runs into the border around this image completely unintentionally. Don't love this visually. I really want to overhaul this page entirely, top to bottom visually, but I think getting the content up here is probably more valuable. So I'm going to keep going down that path. I've got this other content block right here, what I'm working on now, that I'd also like to get in here. We've got 6 minutes left in this Pomodoro. So yeah, let's get what I'm working on now up there, and then we'll kind of go from there. Scrap the styling ideas for now. All right, let's see, refresh the page. Does this look okay? Recent. Yeah, and so you got jumping off points, which take you to notes. Great. Okay, and then we'll have to figure out a way to have these update automatically. That'll be something we can play with soon. Okay, so let me see if I've made any other changes that I need to check in. Nope, clean set of commits right now. Emojis should be wrapped in span. Where is that? Notes.js. You have that. Me, getting distracted. Stop looking at warnings, solve warnings later. Okay, cool. So now we've got our recent page, and we want to add one more section for what I'm working on now. So let's do that right fast. Yeah. I think I'm going to give this a little bit more of a title here. Recent stuff. Yeah, it's nice and conversational. Maybe recent work. Recent. Gosh, I'm not really in writing mode right now. I'll come back and edit this later. For right now, let's get the next section up. Here we go. Section, and this is going to be also some ULLIs. So let's go ahead and paste that in here. And this is going to be change to here. Whoops. Change to there. Oops, I need my Bear app. What was it? What I'm working on now. What I'm working on now. Oh, it pains me that things don't auto ESLint. Okay, and so I've got 3 things here. Boop, coding with Jess. Let's see how that looks. Honestly, I'm like, the meta comment here is as I'm putting this together and kind of mashing, I probably need to do a ground up redesign. So this is probably going to be an interim state here where I at least get things more visible of the things that I'm working on, and then come in later and rethink the whole site entirely. Yeah, homegrown. But this will be fine for now. Let's see how that looks. Great. I wonder if I can copy this as HTML. Oh, even better. So /li, boop. Oh goodness, don't need all those ULs and LIs though. And then let's drop the URL. Same here. Drop the URL. Or make these relative URLs. Sup, James? Welcome. So James, since you're just tuning in, I am working on updating my personal site to have more dynamic links to the stuff that I'm working on regularly. So here's my kind of existing personal site, just a real quick refresh. Reads more like a CV of here's stuff that I've done in the past. It's also very focused on I build stuff and bring it to market. What I'm looking to take the site to is more about the creative work that I'm doing and less about bringing products to market, as well as especially like thinking about the future of computing. And so updated the header to be more focused. Oh, got a break coming up here in just a sec. Tell you what, I'll start the break and give you guys an update of where I'm at, and then I'll have 2 more Pomodoros after this, coming back to finish up the homepage updates. So yeah, again, updating the header to make it more focused around future computing stuff, and I'd like to do a little more make this a little bit more inspirational than just blunt, but it's cool. And then have a recent section where you can immediately know, here's the stuff that I recently have worked on. So here's a notes that I've recently written, here's a video that I've recently published, and then kind of the things that I'm working on right now would be in this section here, and then kind of pushing down these more CV-like sections or resume-like sections till later. So again, yeah, I'll probably be working on this for 2 more Pomodoros. We've got the welcome header part done. We've got the latest 3 things done. It's not dynamic yet, but that'll be the next thing to do. And then we have a now section that's embedded here. And now I just need to kind of get that published and then figure out how to make the latest section dynamic in Gatsby, which is going to be pretty interesting little challenge. So make this dynamic. All right, but that is 1 Pomodoro down. I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. I'll be around on the chat in the YouTubes during the break though. I'll be right back at the end of this Pomodoro, so like 3 minutes. Alrighty. We are back, starting another tomato timer here. Okay, we've got 2 Pomodoros left in this attempt to overhaul my personal homepage and working with Gatsby to make it look good and have a more recent reflection of the stuff I'm working on. So right now here is the changes we've made so far. There's the existing page published, and let me hide that, make that bigger so you can compare apples to oranges. This is the page as it is right now, and then we've changed the greeting. We've added a recent section. We've added a now section. I need to finish up the now section. I have one more thing from here, which is my affiliation with Lambda School that I would love to put up there as well, since that's a big part of my day-to-day. And then we will go on from there. See what's next. D2I. I should delete this surrounding UL. And see how that looks. Great. You know, now that I'm looking at this, I think it'd be really cool to have these things really jump out at you. So I live stream, I publish, I research interests. So maybe I'll bold some selective text in here and see how that looks. So let's do you kidding me? I want to autocomplete this close tag. Weird. Alright. I live stream. See, the strong tag is too strong here. Don't love that. Wonder what I have that set at. Font weight bold. Yeah, see, font weight should be like 700 for strong. Only 600. 600. Still feels really strong. No pun intended. 500? Yeah, let's do 500. Let's drop it to 500. Actually, maybe it could be just because this is like black text that I don't love the. What color do I have this set to? Font color. Come on. 333. That's the reason. So maybe if we go with 700 and a slightly darker color, maybe it'll give me the look I'm looking for without too much punch in the face contrast. Did that work? It doesn't feel like 333. Okay, I'm being super persnickety now. Let's go back to 500 and kill that, and we will follow through with bolding a few things. All right, and then research interests. And finally, yeah. All right, let's see how that looks. I live stream, I publish my research notes, my current research interests are real-time collaborative systems. Cool. Man, this page reads like a heck of a long bulleted list. Kind of hate it, but I'll get over it. All right, so we've got our now section, our recent section, and we've got our like work. I'm thinking about pulling this work section into like an about page that would not be, yeah, like this is an old about page that I have up there, but I don't even have linked right now, because it doesn't. So maybe I'll update this about page and pull the work page off there. I feel like it's not as, yeah, right now it's fine as a long scroller. Okay, there's a great reason why you should plan at the beginning of sessions like this, because it's easy to get sucked into like going far beyond your initial plan. So fortunately my plan is like written down right here in my notebook. I know that's super hard to read. What I wanted to do is I wanted to update the greeting, have something about what has changed, have a now section, and then have jump links to the existing sections was like the most important things, which we've done that. I need to stop there and like ship what I have, and then we can make things better from there. The now section, or the recent section, isn't dynamic, so maybe we'll tackle that next. At least we get to write some code, right? That'd be fun beyond just HTML and CSS here. All right, get add dot. I don't know why that didn't get hidden there. There we go. Get add dot gc update add now section for what I'm working on. Okay, let's go ahead and get a pull request opened. Clicked on the wrong link there. Oh. Okay, fine. We'll do it this way. Gatsby, there should be a link right here, compare and create. Overhaul greeting. Update the greeting. Do you have a blog post? James asks, do you have a blog post anywhere about your go-to tooling setup? Funny you ask that, James. That was actually something I was working on for the site itself, is like having a uses page that would be similar to like Kent's page, Kent C. Dodd's uses page. Here's his, kind of walks through all the stuff that he uses, Chrome extensions, desktop apps, CLIs, his office, that kind of stuff, desk setup. I started working on something like this, and I think I even have it in my bear. Let me see. Oops. BS uses. Looks like I didn't actually start it in my bear app yet. It's definitely something I know I need to get up and running, because I get that question often enough. So thanks for the inspiration, James. I know I need to get that up there. Update the greeting or the welcome section to reflect new focuses. Add a recent section with most recent published works. Not a derail at all, man. That's why I live stream, is so that I can have interaction with other people while I'm while I'm working from home by myself. Add a recent section, add a now section with current projects and focuses. As I look at this, like there's a lot of things I really don't like about this, but will be addressed in like a redesign. I don't like the fact that there's a recent section that, and then the now section, that are both like time oriented, like the titles are time oriented, and it's not clear until you read the bulleted list how they're different from one another. So I need to address that. But again, I think this needs to, I'm basically patching like an old foundation with this current website, and I really need to kind of ground up redesign. And yet it doesn't feel like a ground up redesign is the most valuable thing I could be working on right now. Like there's lots of projects I have in flight that I'd like to get out there, and so it kind of feels like maybe yak shaving If you're not familiar with that term, yak shaving is, you know, basically finding some waste of time thing to work on rather than the main thing that you're working on. All right, so let's go quickly while this is, so Netlify is going to be publishing a deploy preview that we can go check out in just a second, and then we can merge it in. Let's figure out how Gatsby would have us handle dynamic content that would allow us to make the recent section based on recent changes. So let's see. Let's go combining build and client runtime data. We definitely want it to be built at runtime. You can request data from another service using like Axios or something like that. So we could do build static file to render server side. I think we want to server side render this because it just makes sense. Like there's no reason, it's not like it's changing all the time such that we need to like pull it in on the client side. That really doesn't make sense. This is what I was looking for. Plugin for connecting arbitrary GraphQL APIs to Gatsby's GraphQL. Remote schemas are stitched together. So we might be able to read. The thing is, I'm already building something dynamically in this page, the notes.js. And what I do there is I grab the notes, the data from, let's see, const notes page. All right, const notes page here. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the page query. So there's a page query, which I export, and I think I iterate over it somewhere in here. I'm not reading this very well right now. Let's see. All markdown remark. The notes page gets its data from edges. Edges comes in from note link, mapping over each edge. And then here's our, here we go. All markdown remark. Okay. So this all markdown remark must be some function. Implement Gatsby's node API in this file. So we have this like GraphQL. The funny thing is I have no idea how this is stored. I have to go jog my memory about how GraphQL works with Gatsby. Let's do that. It's been a couple months since I've dug into this. So Gatsby. Creating pages from data programmatically. Here we go. Gatsby and its ecosystem of plugins create all kinds of. What's up, Boito? Good to see you, man. Yeah, it's been a couple months since I've done this. I'm gonna get back in the habit. I swear I am. It's like going to the gym. Like I'm gonna eat healthy and I'm gonna go for runs and yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna do live streams. So no promises. It may not happen after today. So the Gatsby Node API provides this create pages extension, which we use to add pages to the API. So it looks like the Gatsby pages are built at runtime. This like create pages here. It looks like it's taking this blog template, this one that I made here. Okay, that makes some sense. Node. And then const result equals await GraphQL. So it looks like it's pulling, here's a GraphQL query, pulling out all of my posts. Edges. Okay, here we go. There's where create page is getting called. And so I think this result data all markdown remark is actually pulling all of the pages from public, not page data, sorry, markdown pages. There we go. Let me see if I search for markdown dash pages. Gatsby source file system. There we go. Man, this is so convoluted. Could be a lot clearer. So in the Gatsby configuration, if I'm following this correctly, in the Gatsby configuration, there is a plugin called Gatsby source file system, which basically tells Gatsby to go look in a folder in this repo and then load all the stuff in that. And so here's where that happens. Gatsby source file system reads these markdown pages. And then when it loads them, that would be in the node. Where was that? Gatsby node. Markdown, remark, edges for each, create. Nope, still don't get it. Oh man. Okay, so somehow through the magic of server-side rendering and GraphQL and Gatsby and plugins and madness, my beautiful markdown pages that are stored in this markdown pages become available through a GraphQL API that I can then query as I'm server-side rendering and building this page. So this is my notes.js page, which renders this page, research notebook. And so what I'm looking at here is I'd also like to be able to link to these most recent changes here. How might I do that? So the way I'm currently generating dynamic content is by reading it from the file system. Like reading a directory on the file system and listing the files effectively as links on the page. I can't really do that with this. For one, I can take the most recent two. Okay. Interesting. So it actually is possible if and only if I just want to grab notes. If I want to grab recent notes only, then I can go ahead and do this now, which is pretty cool. So it'll be some sort of GraphQL query like this one, where instead of grabbing them all, I'll just grab them like most recent 3. And I think I get some fancy GraphQL query thing with out of the box with good old, yeah, like this. Get this crazy, oh, there's not a page yet. Okay, give me a second. I know I get a GraphQL browser or something like that with Gatsby. Ooh, I need to update Gatsby as well. We'll do that as a part of a separate PR here in a second. So I could write a GraphQL query to take the most recent 3 changed notes. Oh, underscore GraphQL. Of course. Yes, it's the triple underscore GraphQL page. Sheesh. All right. So yeah, then I get this markdown remark thing, and I can do a query on that. Let's see, if I do this query, I'm going to get nothing. If I do all markdown remark, I think I'm going to get a bunch of pages. All right, let's go grab the other query that I already had. Edges, node. ID. All right. So there, that gets all my pages. I wonder if I can do that same thing with markdown remark. No. What in the world is markdown remark? It's got children. It has an ID, but there's nothing there. I'm not sure what the difference is between markdown remark and all markdown remark. This is where I feel like software is like way too complicated. Come on. All right, so let me see. How do I make a GraphQL query pull just the most recent three things? Limit GraphQL query to most recent 3. And it could be that I'm thinking differently about how GraphQL works here and that I should actually do this in JavaScript, but it feels like this should be, first. Well, that's cool. So I could take the, like this, is that how that works? First 3? Nope. Name, friends. Oh, yeah, I can't do that with the node. I can do that with this, though. Node was not an array. Edges should be an array, though. Quickly, though, we realized the additional behavior. A client might want to be able to specify how many friends. Maybe they want only 2. This is the GraphQL official, like, what am I doing wrong here? Heroes. GraphQL Pagination. See if I can get another source on the same thing. Gatsby. Here we go. Okay. So then I can limit to 3 through our Markdown React, and I can sort however I want. And I don't need a skip. So this all Markdown React remark. There it goes, right there. Check that out. So limit. Nice. All right, that's limit 3. And then I want to sort by fields, order descending, I guess. And then let me get the title. Oh, what'd I do wrong? Doesn't like my front matter title. Excerpt, children, ID, parent. What is all this stuff? There we go. Cool. And kill the rest of it. Great. Those are not the most recent 3. So now we can do the sort by order descending. It does not like that sort. And yet I just saw it on their thing. Sort by fields. Oh, I think I need to have a fields in there maybe. You can't just pass that. I have to pass fields, front matter date. Okay, cool. Now do descending. Yes, we have done it. We have written a queries. Okay, so it looks like I mentioned, dug pretty hard into that on how to make that dynamic. So right now we've got our front page here. All right, I'm gonna give myself 5 more minutes here. Thanks, Voito, for this delightful tomato application that lets me add 5 minutes to my Pomodoro. So yeah, I've got this recent section here that's got 3 recent notes in it. Unfortunately, it has videos, or fortunately, it has videos integrated in as well, interleaved in there. But those are going to be from a different source. So we're going to need how to make that more dynamic. You know what? Man, the more I look at this, the more I hate this page. I want to kill it entirely, or hate this homepage, and I want to redesign it from scratch. I don't think I'm going to invest any more time here in terms of making this dynamic, because I want to change the way that I interact with recent content and the way that I surface it. So the fact that this is hard coded for now, so be it. I'm kicking myself going back and forth on this. All right, tell you what, let's spike on this for like another 4 minutes, and if we can knock this out in 4 minutes, I'll make it dynamic. If not, I'm leaving it static. So we got no changes out there. We got 4 minutes to make this work. All right, so index. We are going to create a query similar to this, and I'm going to drop it at the very bottom. And this query is going to be super similar, but it is going to let's go grab it from the browser, GraphQL browser, copy. All right, now that I've got the query, I don't need to name it. And go over to notes, see how that page query works here. Note page equals this. I still don't understand how this query gets called here. I guess all markdown remat gets like automatically injected into the page. Yeah, that magic stuff kind of drives me crazy. All right, looks like at the top of the page here, we're going to add a parameter to this function, and it's going to be data all markdown remark, and I'm going to pass edges here. And then inside of here, what in the world? That opens a function with a return value. So this thing has a default return value. We're going to do it like this now, with a return of that. And we'll create a recent notes, and we'll have those note links. And then in the recent section, instead of this mess, we will iterate over recent notes, similar to the way we do here. Wow, if this works, it's pretty magical. All right, that should do it. Oh wait, I need a closing curly brace down here, and a closing that and that. That should do it, right? Because now I'm returning a function that has a return value, and I've got all of that looking good here. All right, I have now copy pasta coded this, and it may or may not work. Does not work. Oh, it works. That's weird. It has the old data in it. I'm confused. It looks like it works. But that doesn't make sense. All right, we're at the end of our Pomodoro there. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. James is saying he doesn't like the magic here in Gatsby. Yeah, magic is really great. It helps you until it doesn't. All right, so why is this still showing the old content? Because oh, there we go. Now it's crashing. Okay, that's what I would have expected. Oh, wait. All right, I'm gonna give myself 5 more minutes to figure this out. And then don't go away, because right after this, I've got a special surprise. I just got a package in the mail, which contains a Remarkable 2 tablet. And so it should be sitting on my front porch. So I'm gonna take a few minutes and go grab that off my front porch, and then I'll just open it on the live stream, which should be kind of fun. All right. I don't know why that is not showing me the error here. Maybe it's note link is not defined. Oh, okay. I've got to do an import. Jeez. Of course, an import, because dynamic code linking is going to be the thing that's causing this thing to fail. Oh, sad panda. Recent notes is assigned a value but never used. Oh, that's right. I'm also referring to the wrong variable name. This is why programming is terrible. And now, boom. Works. How about that? Recent notes. Cool. Okay. Let me go ahead and you know what I'll probably do is I'll probably change this section overall to like focus on my research notebook and then go from there. But all in all, that was not too bad. The reason these are coming back blank, by the way, is because I left them out of the GraphQL query. I bet you if I come down here and add date, that one-liner, boom. Except that the formatting of it's horrendous. Let's go see what I did in Notes.js. Can pass a function to GraphQL. GraphQL, you're kind of cool, actually. Gatsby, I'm not so sure about you, but GraphQL, you're kind of cool. You're kind of cool. And then this is funny because I just updated today the way that note links work. So let's go take advantage of that small update I made, which is we want to make this a span class equals updated, and drop that span. So that's one quick style change, which boom, boom, boom. We decided we could drop the verb there of updated and that you would just know that that was when it was updated. Not too bad. And then maybe what I do is turn that section into a section called Research Notebook instead of recently updated notes. And then I can do this instead. All right, I'm getting pretty far afield of what our original task, but and then that is nice because it allows me to pull the research notebook out of here, which I didn't like having down here. I wanted it closer to the top since this is mostly what I'm working in. See how this looks. Since it's now like narrowed down. Here we go. Awesome. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna wrap that up. James says I'm here for the Remarkable 2 unboxing. Okay. Oh, whether I can get Kindle books on it or not. Yeah, so I'm actually very interested to use the Remarkable tablet here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and stop my Pomodoro. Let me go ahead and check in this last commit, and I'm gonna go grab the Remarkable off my desk. or off my front porch. All right, dynamically update the list of recent notes on homepage. That actually wasn't too bad to struggle through, especially for someone who's not as familiar with Gatsby, JavaScript, GraphQL, all the things as I would like to be. So, you know, kudos to you for not making it super painful, Gatsby. We'll go ahead and post this change later in just a minute. But now I'm gonna take a quick break, go grab the Remarkable 2 off my porch, and I'll be back to unbox it in like 3 minutes. So hang out if you want to see a Remarkable 2 unboxed live on camera. Yeah, kind of a fun, unexpected thing that we'll get to do here in a sec. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and I'm going to be unboxing my Remarkable 2 live on here. It happened to come in the middle of my live stream where I was working on something unrelated, and so I thought, hey, how fun to like kind of share this experience with the world and kind of talk about why I'm getting a Remarkable 2 in the first place. So this will probably be another half hour of like going through the kind of the unboxing process. If you have any questions for me while I'm doing it, feel free to post them in the live stream chat, and I'll be watching that as well. My setup is not exactly the best like unboxing setup. I don't have like a down cam that some other people would have that would make this like potentially more interesting. So what I am going to do is switch this to as wide of an angle as I possibly can, and then kind of I'll try to like hold things up and give you guys an idea of kind of like what I'm looking at as I'm going through it. Here we go. It's funny because I was just this morning, as I was playing around with my live stream thing, I was working on a down cam. So I actually have another camera right here that I was like working at, pointing down at my desk. I was like, I wonder if it'd be interesting if people could see my fingers while I'm typing. Oh man, this is super exciting. I've been excited to get this for a while. Woo! All right, so it's in 3 boxes. Here are the 3 boxes so far. There's the Remarkable itself box. There is the Remarkable case, the book folio that it'll go inside of, and then there is the marker itself, which may look this is kind of like a similar box to the Apple Pencil, if any of you guys have played with that with your iPad. So let's start by opening the tablet, I guess, and then we'll put it in its case and use the pencil in a second here. All right, so it's funny, I've played around enough. I'm using Streamlabs OBS to stream this, and it makes it really easy to build custom interfaces. I could probably add a down cam here in like 25 seconds just because I've done it so many times playing with it. Okay, so got the shrink wrap off. And undoing the bottom here. It's got this nice case around it. Totally does feel like Christmas, James. This has like been my sort of Christmas present to myself. I reserved this all of like, I don't know, 6 months ago. So it's cool to finally get it. Congratulations on your new Remarkable. It's got like a nice little welcome section over here. And then here is interesting. It's almost like they had an idea to put a... Oh, okay, that's the cable. Cable's down here. Tablet is here. Man, this is super exciting. How does it unfold here? Woot. Oh, that's not... Okay. Wow, it is really, really thin. It is USB or micro USB. It is, oh my gosh, where do you even plug this thing in? It's so small. Oh, interesting. So it's got a metal fitting here, magnetic fitting where it attaches to the cable. So it really doesn't even attach to the cable at all. It doesn't have a physical port on the device. So here's the, well, maybe it does have a physical port on the device. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's on the edge. It's USB-C. So it has a nice like USB-C cable down here in the bottom that slides in. Look how nice that looks. Slides in very parallel. I think this magnetic thing here is for the folio, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it is nice. Okay, it says hold the power button. Hold the power button to get started. You find the power button. Looks like it's on the top of the column here. So we'll go ahead and hold that. Bleeding. Remarkable is starting. Remarkable is remarkable. All right, let me see how that works. I'm actually going to lower this down as well. All right, it's booting up. Express yourself, write script or scribble today. All right, I'm going to get out the pencil real quick. The maca. So here's our marker. Has a little thing to tear on the end. Slides out like so. And ooh, it's black. Nice. Feels really good. It's got like a flat side on it. I don't know if that shows up in the video very well, but it has a circular thing and then one flat side, which is nice because it gives you some sense of like a little bit more of a grip or groove to it. All right, so got like a little bit of a pencil like button on where the eraser is. I don't know exactly what that does. All right, so, oh wow. Holy smokes. It feels like writing with a pencil. Oh my goodness. And there's like no lag. Holy cow. Wow. This thing's gonna be very popular. Oh my gosh. This might replace my physical notebook, which is sitting right here. The feeling of writing with this on real paper, it really does feel the same. Like, I'm absolutely astonished. Like, I'm so used to the hard iPad or iPhone of like when you hit it, that it just like it pushes back against you, and this the tip just feels like it sinks in, almost like I'm damaging the surface or something. Like I'm a little nervous, but no, it feels like paper. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Okay, it says your screen is unique. The canvas display creates a true paper experience. Yeah, I believe you. Every now and then your display will refresh itself. Okay. Refresh. Did you see that? That's what a screen refresh looks like. It's completely normal, keeps your display looking clean and sharp. Okay. Start setup. All right, now I'm in the setup set. That playing with the pencil though, like that was, holy smokes, that was incredible. All right, so now I'm connecting to my Wi-Fi interface, and it popped up a keyboard. Let's see how like typing on this thing is. Feels like typing on my Kindle, but maybe twice as fast and a little bit more responsive. I love e-ink displays though. That's one of the reasons have been super excited to do this. I didn't even try the eraser. Oh my goodness. Oh, wrong password. Let me try that again. Go Martin Office. That's right, that's my Wi-Fi password if you need to connect to my Wi-Fi. If you're ever at my house, you can use it. Connecting. Success, you're connected. Continue, got a little like bubble thing for the setup steps here. Set up remarkable cloud. I'm gonna skip cloud setup for now. We'll come back to it. Not connecting will mean you're missing out on important features like syncing, backing up, sharing files by email, and converting handwritten notes into typed text. That's exciting. Handwritten notes into typed text is pretty cool. I'm going to skip it anyway, just so I can get to like playing around. I'm right-handed. Continue. Ready to go. All right, so I've got like a little interface here with a menu at the top. And then actually, let's see, zoom in even further. All right, yeah, so I've got let's see if the zoom can keep up here. Hello, there we go. Cool. All right, so I've got an interface with like a thing at the top, and I can create folders, I can create notebooks, I can create quick sheets, whatever that is. And then it kind of like walking me through the Finder here. So on the left, that popped out. So let me zoom out a little bit. Apparently that's the zoom autofocus is not keeping up. All right, so I've got my files and menu content where you find all your stuff. Next. I wonder, one of the things I'm really interested to see is how it does palm cancellation, because I played around with an iPad Pro with the pencil, and it did not do a good job of palm cancellation, which was continually annoying. I want to just be able to lay my palm on the dang thing and not have to even think about whether that would actually cause it to write on anything. Folders, notebooks, and quick sheets. Long press files. Press and hold a document for 2 seconds to select. Next. Physical button. One physical button on top right there. Turn it on with that. Okay. In terms of weight, it's pretty dang light. I've been holding it for a few minutes now. As you can see, and my thumb is getting a little bit tired, but not terribly. Feels really sturdy. Doesn't feel like it's going to bend or anything like that. I'm curious to get it in the folio and see how that feels. Let me see, quick sheet. I don't know what a quick sheet is. Navigating looks like I can swipe back and forth. I can share this quick sheet live view. That's cool. You get layers. Oh, nice. So I could do like some real. Okay, close. All right, let's see how this goes. Oh my gosh, I cannot emphasize how awesome this thing feels to write on. That is definitely the killer app of this. Wow. Yeah, so James asks, a couple times it looked like it wasn't responding to a tap, and that is true. It did feel like that. Erasing is interesting. Yeah, and so I think, James, it was not canceling my palm. So here's, yeah, okay, so now palm cancellation is working great. I think it's because these buttons are tap sensitive, touch sensitive, maybe? I don't know. When it's trying to read what I'm writing, it seems to work great. Like, I don't know. It's almost like there's two modes. Like there's like navigating the interface mode, and then there's like, yeah, it's interesting. And then there's like I'm writing now mode, and in writing now mode, it has been incredibly responsive. This is kind of awesome too. Like the way that erasing works is it seems to like you erase part of it and it starts to like lightly, see how that lightly went away? And then when I release, it goes away entirely. So it lets you kind of see what you're erasing. And then when you let go, it goes away. Kind of a modal erase in some ways, instead of an instant erase. It's like, hey, you're erasing this stuff. But yeah, the writing, the feel of the writing alone is amazing, and kind of worth the package. The other piece that I wanted it for personally, interesting. The other piece, okay, so let's close out of this. The reason that I wanted to get, you can't cancel an erase, James. It looks like I didn't see any way to do that. It's basically this eraser piece like toggles that erase mode, and then once you release, you're done. All right, so the reason that I wanted to get one of these, that I was so excited about it, is I would like to be able to actually read PDFs on here. So let me show you what I currently do. Oh goodness. I have a physical file box. Yes, those are real papers. And one of the things when I am doing work, or when I'm like coming across something I want to read, I will go to, I use Pocket, and then I have Pocket. I save things to get Pocket, but I don't actually read them in Pocket. Once something is saved to Pocket, I have it forward to a PDF processor, which then saves it to Dropbox, which then goes and hits my local computer, which then prints it on that printer. And so this morning I was thinking about, or I came across this article on, oops, let me do that. Came across this article on like the future history of America on Medium. I clicked one button on my browser to save that, and then like 2 minutes later it printed over here. And then I can actually read this physically on paper, which I find to be a much better process for me to like pay attention and focus than trying to read on a computer where there's all kinds of stuff going on. And so the end result for me is something like this, where I have my reading folder, and in that reading folder I have articles that I'm currently reading, and those articles, gosh, I know that's getting blown out by the, but you can see like the important thing is I actually highlight the articles as I go through and read them and make notes and underline and write stuff in the margins and stuff like that. So I'd like to recreate that experience digitally, and then basically have marked up versions of my articles that I've read that I could then go review digitally. So potentially replacing like a paper workflow with a digital one that is still focused around, and it doesn't have all the apps in the world on it, which is like the problem with the iPad and things like that for me, is that they're too distracting. Like I can't read on my iPhone because I get too easily distracted. So yeah, I think the other thing would be there's a PDFs menu on here, since I have no PDFs yet. And so I'm going to try and import some PDFs and read them on here and mark them up and see how that works. Whew. Well, this has been fun. Definitely unexpected to get the Remarkable in the middle of the live stream and be able to open it up and kind of share the unboxing experience. I hope this was fun. I enjoy doing this live and all the experience of it. Thanks for hanging out while I work on updating my personal site. I'm going to try and get back to a weekly cadence of live streaming, but no promises. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out on Coding